Walking down the beach one bright and sunny day, I spied a great big wooden box floating in the bay. I pulled it in and opened it up, and much to my surprise, oh, I discovered a bump right before my eyes. Oh, I discovered a bump right before my eyes. I picked it up and ran to town as happy as a king. I took it to a guy I knew who'd buy most anything. But this is what he hollered at me as I walked in his shop. Oh, get out of here with that bump before I call the cop. Oh, get out of here with that bump before I call the cop. I turned around and got right out running for my life. I thought I'd take it home with me and give it to my wife. But this is what she shouted at me as I walked in the door. Oh, get out of here with that bump and don't come back no more. Oh, get out of here with that bump and don't come back no more. I wandered all around the town until I chanced to meet a hobo who was looking for a handout on the street. He said he'd take most anything. He was a desperate man, but when I showed him the bump, he turned around and ran. Oh, when I showed him the bump, he turned around and ran. I wandered on for many a year, a victim of my fate, until one day I came upon St. Peter at the gate. And when I tried to take it inside, he told me where to go. Oh, get out of here with that bump and take it down below. Oh, get out of here with that bump and take it down below. The moral of the story is, if you're out on the beach, you spy a great big wooden box and it's within your reach. Don't ever stop, then open it up, and that's my advice to you, 'cause you'll never get rid of that bump, no matter what you do. Oh, you'll never get rid of that bump, no matter what you do.
I was confused from the moment you sent this email as to exactly what you replaced.
Where we're okay now. That's what everyone, that's the mystery question.
What was in the box? We'll never know what was in the box.
What is it? We don't
Thank goodness
know.
we don't want to know.
We can guess. We don't know.
Dad never told us.
He doesn't know either.
Yeah, he didn't
No,
know.
sorry, just admiring the glass that I get to row on in a little bit.
All right, now this
Very, very
next
nice
one.
My glasses are nice.
Which one? Sweet
This
violet?
next one is Sweet Violets.
Okay.
And when you see the ... you want to just kind of pause for a minute. Okay. And this again has a very folksy tale, rhythm to it. They'll be easy to follow once you get it.
Yes, I do.
Okay. That just repeats over and over again. Okay. Does anyone else know this well?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Okay. There once was a farmer who took a young miss in back of the barn where he gave her a lecture on horses and chickens and eggs, and told her that she has such beautiful manners that suited a girl of her charms, a girl that he wanted to take in his washing and ironing, and then if she did, they could get married and raise lots of sweet violets, sweeter than the roses, covered all over from head to toe, covered all over with sweet violets. The girl told the farmer that he'd better stop, and she called her father and he called a taxi and got there before very long, 'cause someone was doing his little girl right for a change, so that's why he said, if you marry her, son, you're better off single, 'cause it's always been my belief marriage will bring a man nothing but sweet violets, sweeter than the roses, covered all over from head to toe, covered all over with sweet violets. The farmer decided he'd wed anyway, and started in planning for his wedding suit, which he purchased for only $1. But then he found out he was just out of money, and so he got left in the lurch, standing and waiting in front of the end of the story, which just goes to show all a girl wants from a man is his sweet violets, sweeter than the roses, to toe, covered all over with sweet violets.
Okay, Dad never sang that last verse.
No.
So I'm really curious if anyone has any ideas on what rhymes with show.
I know.
I was thinking blow.
It's not the 80s anymore, Allison.
There was definitely a version of that song that went around in middle school, but that was much dirtier than that version.
Oh, you have another version?
No, there's definitely there's definitely a middle school version that is somewhat dirtier than that version. For sure.
Nice to know.
We're singing that at your memorial service.
Mark knows about it.
Okay.
No, we won't go into that.
Yeah, no need.
That's all we need to know about that.
All right, now we've saved the best for last. This is the classic, Rickety Tickety Tin. And when I looked this up again, there was a last verse that I never remember Dad ever singing that.
No.
So I think
We didn't have the internet.
we just end with sin.
Okay.
Yeah, let's end with sin. Okay.
About a maid, I'll sing a song, sing rickety tickety tin. About a maid, I'll sing a song who did not have her family long. Not only did she do them wrong.
Wait, we got off wrong. Hang on a second.
Not only did she do them wrong.
Wrong.
She did every one of them in.
Okay. About a maid. Okay, wait.
My
Hang
fault.
on, I think you started off wrong. Sorry. About a maid, I'll sing a song. Sing rickety tickety tin.
About a maid, I'll sing a song who did not have her family long. Not only did she do them wrong, she done every one of them in. Then in, she done every one of them in. Her mother she could never stand, sing rickety tickety tin. Her mother she could never stand, and so a cyanide soup she planned. Her mother died with a spoon in her hand, and her face in a hideous grin. A grin, her face in a hideous grin. One morning in a fit of pique, sing rickety tickety tin. One morning in a fit of pique, she pushed her father in the creek. The water tasted bad for a week, and we had to make do with gin. With gin, we had to make do with gin. She set her sister's hair on fire, sing rickety tickety tin. She set her sister's hair on fire, and as the flames grew higher and higher, she danced around the funeral pyre, a-playing her violin, a-playing her violin. She weighed her brother down with stones, sing rickety tickety tin. She weighed her brother down with stones, and sent him off to Davy Jones. And all we ever found were bones, and occasional pieces of skin, and occasional pieces of skin. One day when she had nothing to do, sing rickety tickety tin. One day when she had nothing to do, she cut her baby brother in two, and served him up in an Irish stew, and invited the neighbors in, invited the neighbors in. And when at last the police came by, sing rickety tickety tin. And when at last the police came by, these idle pranks she did not deny. To deny them she would have to lie, and lying she knew was a sin, and lying she knew was a sin.
Wow.
So were these bedtime songs? These were Harvest Drive songs. Okay. Right. Bedtime songs. No, not bedtime. Now the lullaby was part of the service. This was to pass the time before technology on 12-hour car rides.
For DVD.
And DVDs, all that. So Dad entertained us with all
For
sorts of.
CDs, you guys listen to your CDs for
And
like 9 hours.
on backpacking
Favorite
trips?
Yeah.
San Diego one.
On the
Yeah,
trail?
on the trail, we sing
You
it.
guys are great. One album.
Yeah.
What we'd be singing?
Shania Twain.
So
Was
when
it Red?
the
Was
kids
it
come back, do you want
Red and green?
to lead into? Yeah.
Does anybody want to sing Drunken Sailor?
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah, I didn't think of that one. Yeah.
Look it up. Yeah, let's look it up.
What should we do
Drunken
with
Sailor.
the
Sailor, what should we do with a drunken sailor? What should we do with a drunken sailor early in the morning?
way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises,
So fast.
I know there's Shane the Belly with the rusty razor.
put him in a
And there's like two dead boys get up in the night, back to back. They
Oh, that's
face each
that's
other.
these songs so dark.
That's my dad.
Why do they have to be so dark yet so cheery?
Sober early in the morning, way up she rises,
way up she rises,
way up she rises early in the
Old-fashioned way.
Put him in a longboat and make him baler. Put him in a longboat and make him baler.
Oh, bail her. Okay, put him in the longboat and make him baler. Put him in the longboat and make him baler. Put him in the longboat and make him baler. Early in the morning, way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises. Early in the morning.
Lock him in the guard room till he's sober.
Lock him in the guard room till he's sober. Lock him in the guard room till he's sober. Early in the morning, way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises. Early in the morning.
Even by the leg in a running bowline. Even by the leg in a running bowline. Even by the leg in a running bowline.
That should happen way earlier in the song.
Yeah, it's coming.
Way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises. Early in the morning.
Shave his
His belly with a rusty razor, shave
Shave
his belly with a rusty razor, shave his belly with a rusty razor. Early in the morning, way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises. Early in the morning.
Give him a taste of the bosun's roping. Give him a
Taste of the bosun's roping, give him a taste of the bosun's roping. Early in the morning, way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises. Early in
Put him in the Belgian, make him drink it.
the Belgian, make him drink it. Put him in the Belgian, make him drink it. Early in the morning, way up she rises, way up she rises, way up she rises. Early in the morning.
I think we can skip the captain putting in bed with the captain's daughter.
All of these things are awful things.
Here's the last
What is
one.
tradition?
Yeah.
Soak him in oil till he sprouts a flipper. Soak him in oil till he sprouts a flipper. Soak him in oil till he sprouts a flipper.
Early in the morning, way up she rises,
Oh,
way up she rises, way up she rises. Early in the morning. Cheers, Dad.
Cheers, Dad.
Thank you.
I was thinking about Johnny We're Back, but I don't remember some of these lyrics. I remember the chorus. So Mr. Johnny We're Back, how could you be so mean? And would you be sorry for adventure? You remember this one? And all the neighbors, rats and dogs will never more be seen. All the ground is busted.
Oh yes,
Yes.
Oh yeah, what thing?
One day the machine got busted, the darn thing wouldn't go. So Johnny Rebecca climbed inside to see what
God, he knows that song.
His wife, she had a nightmare.
I know that
Rocking
song.
in her sleep. She gave that yank, she gave a crank, and every yank a crank, and Johnny Rebecca was beeping. Whoop, bang.
That may be the worst of them all.
Or maybe not.
Any other songs? Anybody else?
Their favorites? They have a
Favorites? Oh,
That was you and him.
can you remember it?
There was this one verse I had about 3 memorized that I played. You said, well, you didn't do this one.
Okay.
Grandpa liked to tell me about how he would go and see The Wizard of Oz, and he had a huge crush on Judy Garland.
Part of the story is that
And he kept expecting her to pop out on the stage at the end of the movie, but she never did.
Sir Grandpa Paul Hilliker was fond of Judy Garland because he thought she looked like Aunt Jane.
It's true.
Totally.
She totally did.
Family she was. good. You got a gin and tonic.
And a cheesy snack.
Cheers.
I want another cheese.
Do we need to do another
Can I
round?
pass them around?
Is there a sweet song you
Bill?
remember him singing?
Oh, Tula Laura
Laura. We could try. We could sing that. Should we sing that?
He did a beautiful job.
Did a beautiful job. I don't remember him singing Edelweiss, but
I guess the sound of music is
Sure did a lot of throat singing.
oh, fabulous.
That was a favorite for my parents.
The tour or Edelweiss. We could sing that.
We lost one.
We should have a toast.
We have a couple more songs, right? We'll do Edelweiss. Then maybe just Edelweiss and then a toast, or do we want to tackle to Laura? I think I have the words. Have no regrets. Why don't we do Edelweiss and then we'll just try to finish with Tora Laura? Okay. And then we can do a toast.
You guys each want an apple juice?
Yeah.
Okay, we have to be very, very careful. In that urn, in that table right there. Well, the tonic water? Do you really like tonic water straight? There's also seltzer water, you might like that water.
Did you have fun?
It's kind of bitter. Okay, here.
I like it without
Why don't you start with half of one? There's also snickerdoodles that that Nana bought us. Oh, so no apple juice for you, Gail? Yeah.
It's sort of.
Because we have some.
Winner gets G3.
Yeah, I think everything.
Kara's earned her G&T with Kid Duty. Can I make you one?
No, not sold in the Snickers. Oh, okay.
This is Little Paul. That's Big Paul. No, that was like that was just like.
Alice, you lost your straw. Right by you, right there.
Take to Nebraska. To spread his ashes on the farm and grow wheat.
Yeah. Maybe not.
The little jar is smaller than part of it. We're not going to touch the versions of this season adults. So people under the age of 15 do not touch this part of the table because it's not very sturdy. Yeah, I can help you.
When are we gonna bury him?
Pretty soon.
Wait, Dale.
Okay, you ready, Alice?
Says what?
Alice, you ready?
What songs are we looking at?
So we thought we'd sing Edelweiss and then Tora Laura. Finish with the
We'll do a toast and then we can
and then a toast,
bury him.
and then we can bury him.
Are we going to do any memories?
Well, yeah. I mean, we can as part of the talking. Or how about should we do memories now and then finish with the two songs?
Or you could do memories back at the house, too.
Memories will take a long time.
Yeah, memories might take a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Down.
Okay. We need to be drunker.
Maybe we should not do that here.
Okay. So, all right. So what did we decide? Should we do a toast
Yeah.
and then finish with the two songs
Okay.
and then bury? So, or I don't know. What are we thinking for the toast? Is the toast just everybody, just or someone actually speaking?
I think everybody's.
Okay. Okay.
We're a community.
Okay.
There's no leader, but we're community.
We're anarchists.
We're family.
Okay. So who wants to start the toast?
Mark does. He wanted
Mark,
to say a few words.
Start the toast. Awesome.
Okay.
Okay, go for
Well,
it.
the toast, the fun thing that last week was when I texted somebody this, but when I said, Luke wanted to know if he'd learned his lesson about holding the handrail, and I asked him that in hospital, and he said, well, yes, I have, you can tell him, but you also shouldn't always do what everybody tells you to do. And I just thought that showed some good fire that was still fire.
Cheers.
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 Did he start his answer with well?
I don't remember. Just very,
It depends.
Probably safe to assume.
You all know that I'm a frugal-tarian, right?
Yes.
Invented that word. Jane tells me that she and one of the Markleys and Dad went scuba diving down.
Oh yeah.
And North Boy came for the weight of their lead. They wore it for the entire trip, including in the unair-conditioned terminals, planking in their metal chairs, 20 girls, 20 pounds of lead.
Wasn't the flight delayed?
If you went down to his basement, you might still find that lead.
I'm sure.
Very obvious person.
We can ship it to Aunt Jane.
Cheers. to that.
Cheers, Dad.
Cheers to economy. Efficiency.
Okay, more on that vein.
One of the things that I will always treasure about your dad is that every time we saw him, he asked how I felt. That was a sign of thoughtfulness, inclusiveness, and caring.
Cheers to Dad.
Cheers, Dad.
I would never have thought to flirt with Siri.
All he's going to say.
This is something Paul taught you to do? We've done one of the wonderful meals up at your local Chinese restaurant where most of us here at Lee and others were all crammed around this one giant big table. And we were walking home to your house and he had his latest new iPhone when Siri was brand new. He was flirting. and you were charmed, you were egging him on. It was just it was wonderful and unexpected, and as I say, and wonderful. So.
Cheers to Dad.
Cheers to Dad.
Natalie, you were going to say something.
On the frugality, one of my favorite memories is when Mom's colander, one of her metal colanders, the mesh all got kind of rusty, and we were gonna chuck it, and Dad's like, "Oh no, we're not throwing it away," and he rips out the mesh and saves the frame, and he knew exactly where everything was in his garage and where he put that thing, but then years and years later, when Emily was getting ready for her Halloween costume, she was going to be a robot. She made it out of boxes and covered it with aluminum foil and put all the decorations on it. And she's all ready to go and she's got it on. And Dad looks at it and goes, "Oh, it's not quite done. Wait a minute, I got the perfect thing." And he goes running off to his garage, reached into some nook and cranny, pulled out that frame, stuck it upside down on top of her costume, and it was absolutely perfect. Cheers, Dad.
I don't know about frugality, but in my experience, he and also Sarah, some of those generous people I've ever met in terms of your time and resources and sharing your house and your miles and iron. So anyway, thank you for all that you've given us over these years. It's been just astounding. So thank you.
Cheers, Mom and Dad.
I think I speak for Kelsey too. I know we're not officially related.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
But from the very beginning, Grandpa, Grandma, and everyone just made us feel so welcomed and accepted, and we didn't feel like we were separate, I guess.
And now you're stuck with us.
Fully adopted.
Thanks for bringing him.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers to Dad.
I remember the first or second year that Camp Farm was happening. And the idea of scheduling harvest and arriving on a certain date and leaving on a certain date was so against anything he'd previously believed in or thought was feasible or appropriate. But it became so clear so immediately, even if he was just arriving with people and staying behind, how important it was to him to make it possible for all of us older cousins to be able to be there together and to experience that together and be able to understand a bit more about where he came from and what his family history was like. And those are still some of the best memories of my whole life, just being there with my family, but also the year that the Hutchersons came out and Alexa and Kelsey and Tyler and Brad were all there together, and we got up to some mischief. Yeah. And we didn't necessarily always follow all the rules that Grandpa had either
As he instructed you not to do, right?
as he said in his mind or in his actual words, but it was the best of times.
Follow that.
Cheers.
To follow that, we loved, all the Dairy Queen runs in Nebraska and the dilly bars, the Atlanta Mountain of dilly bars, and he always gave the best and biggest hugs that loved. And when we got lost on the mountain, I remember when he came back and he was just sweeping and kind of talking to us.
Oh, he yelled at me. He
Yeah.
didn't yell at you guys.
Yeah.
He yelled at me.
So maybe I have a different memory.
You were the oldest.
I was the oldest grandchild, and it was my responsibility.
Keep everyone
And
safe,
my
young
fault.
lady.
what, by 6 weeks?
Yeah,
Yes.
6 weeks.
A lot of pressure, Amelia.
It's an important 6 weeks.
Twins argue over that one.
Yeah.
They're just minutes apart.
Yeah, 6 minutes.
How many minutes is that, Sally?
6.
Don't forget.
No.
Cheers to Dad.
No. I'll just miss when he comes over. He sort of has that look in his eye about when is the drink going to appear in my hand. You haven't brought one to me yet. I need to walk toward the kitchen. It's more of a what's going to be in my hand soon, not are you going to want a drink. It's either a beer or a bourbon. I always,
In our house, it was, Barb, could I please have a napkin with my dinner this time? Will you give me a napkin this time, please? You've got to have a napkin in this house.
No, there's lots. Yeah, in the bag.
And he would,
I think there's one already open, Kara.
he would take the initiative upon himself to make coffee for dessert. And ask who was interested in coffee.
Stay right there.
Cheers.
If they don't get their
I'd
ball.
add that I learned a lot of things from Paul. One is that global warming does not exist, and that was a huge relief. Cheers to
I remember I begged to become held at the farm and she was
It's like let's get our books up. Like go and sit down.
I was so excited. And he told me I was going to get me to just make some cheese and crackers and bring it over? I didn't know what moving was, but I was so excited that I was going to get to do it. So it didn't matter. Whatever crackers were, I get out to the field and he explained what my job was to crouch down, look at the horizon, and see the big rye stalks sticking out of the weeds, which were the giant weeds, and I had to trot over and pull it up by hand. And I was just so excited to get that off my dad's farm and do work. And so I trotted off, and I got to the first stalk, and I pulled, and it wasn't coming out, and I pulled some more, and man, it was just like all of my entire body effort to pull it out of my mouth. And that was one stalk. And I had to do a whole acre. And I crouched down, went to the next one, and I don't know how many stalks into it, but my hand started to bleed. And Dad finally came over to check on me and saw my wounded hands. And he goes, well, why didn't you ask for gloves?
But I didn't want to risk any chance of not being invited back to work on the farm, so I never spoke up.
Cheers.
Cheers to Dad.
On a similar note, I remember when I was too young to clean bins or any of those other fantastic tasks of menial labor we got to do, he always offered to pay me a nickel per rock I pulled out of the field, just like he did when he was younger. And I never took him up on it because I think I sensed that was a bad deal for me. But he was always perfectly willing to pay me a nickel per rock.
Yeah, I think.
And you can still see some of the rock piles on some of the fields that he and Jane and John made when they were kids working there.
They made good money.
By hand.
Invested wisely, a nickel per rock.
A nickel per rock. Inflation did not keep up.
Offers get paid what?
Oh, I got paid a nickel for every fly that I killed.
I got 25 cents a shirt ironing his shirts growing up, and 10 cents a picket to paint the bench.
Hold it. Here, let me.
A lot of shirts and a lot of picket.
Your introduction to peace work.
Exactly. True. That's true capital. I didn't want to pay you by the hour. You could slack off.
No, you had to have you got to be paid for the actual work. And the same thing with weeding. It wasn't go weed. It was like, you don't come back into that bag is full of weeds in the yard.
He had very volumetric assumptions for your labor.
Business still does that.
Yeah.
The deliverables.
Measurables.
No hourly salary until Camp Farm started.
Covered the hole for Bob. They had to dig the hole for you guys whatever you were receiving. So I think which means it originated, so those who follow. You have to go back another generation or two. Under here, somewhere is but when they dug it, they probably dug it yesterday.
Okay.
Or maybe ready today.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. We got more songs.
One more song?
Well, what do you guys feel like? Do you want to do two or just finish with a lullaby?
I know Edelweiss better than
I have words.
Yeah, the Turler I sent bonus roll out. You have them, Barb?
I have it from the Wikipedia page.
That's the hole. That's the hole. This is the hole.
Well, we could start. I don't know. Let's do both.
Yeah, I'm looking under.
Is there a hole under? Oh, okay.
You guys want to come sing? Come sing.
Grab your phone, Kat?
Children, you want to come sing?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't do that.
Speak from the Sound of Music. You might know this.
But I'm not sure how to start out Edelweiss.
The hole is definitely on the field. The hole is definitely on the field.
Allie, did you send that?
I did. I sent it.
I just checked them.
It's sent to me.
Either way, I wanted
It's
to
a
take
PDF. It says Dad's Lullaby is the subject.
That songs.
No, Dad's Lullaby. Look for Lullaby. It's not in the Dad song, you know.
I'm hoping that those other songs weren't so nice.
I thought I sent it to you too, Paula.
I don't have
Yeah, you did.
Lullaby.
I thought I did, Barb, didn't I?
You did.
Did you find it? Did you find it? Starts with And then if you guys can indulge, change the gender to father rather than mother. Like you did so kindly in the church today. Such a wonderful job.
He was
Wonderful. Did you find it, Paul?
Yep.
Okay, you ready? Over in Killarney, many years ago, my father sang a song to me in tones so sweet and low. Just a simple little ditty in his good old Irish way. And I give the world if he could sing that song to me this day. Toora-loora-loora, toora-loora-lie, toora-loora-loora, hush now don't you cry. Toora-loora-loora, toora-loora-lie, toora-loora-loora, that's an Irish lullaby. Often dreams I wander to that cot again. I feel his arms a-rugging me as when she held me then, and I hear his voice a-humming to me as in days of yore, when he used to rock me fast asleep outside the cabin door. Toora-loora-loora, toora-loora-lie, toora-loora-loora, hush now don't you cry. Toora-loora-loora, toora-loora-lie, toora-loora-loora, that's an Irish lullaby.
all right. To Paul.
Cheers, Dad.
To Grandpa. To husband. Grandpa to husband. Brother.
To the patriarch of the family.
Magnet. Blue on.
Should we put him in the ground now?
Yes. No.
No, place it in there. Okay. Place it in there. Mom, do you want to place it in? Want to carry him over, Mom? You want to carry him over? Want to carry Dad?
We talked about having them reach over and maybe the kids would have to do the thing where they're lying and putting down the lower part.
Okay.
You don't have to. Only if you want to, Mom.
Because the box is for.
Too heavy. Okay. Paul.
Need a special shovel that's flat.
I think for her placing it in actually,
Deep anyways.
that's a little confusing.
Okay. Paul, once you do it, Paul.
Okay.
Just make space for people coming in, though. You might get to put some dirt in, too.
I like it better than the original color.
Yeah.
And Paul, if you use the board, you won't get your pants wet. It is a little bit of a reach, so you can assist her if you think you can do it, go ahead.
I'm sure I can. I would like to invite the little kids to help me. If they're willing to get down on their knees.
Yeah, it's very heavy.
Lean over the hole here. Somebody put their hands down and see how far you can reach. Okay? All right.
All the way down.
So I'm going to hold the top, and I would like each one of you to put your hand on the bottom, okay? And I would like you to help me to put it down in the hole. Ready? Okay, all the way down. Did we pinch any hands?
There you go. Good job.
Perfect. Good job.
There he is. Goodbye, Dad.
Think you got that, buddy? Go ahead, try it. Be careful. I think it's heavier than it looks.
There's a nice gentleman back here who's used to carrying those things.
Perfectly willing.
They can't hurt nothing. I know that. So we'll watch your
That's right,
fingers
Alan.
on that
Oh,
too.
Galen,
There you
you
go.
got it.
Nail down.
Squeeze your fingers.
Watch your
Be
fingers.
careful,
Put that
though.
in
Gonna
there.
bite your fingers.
All right.
Nice job, Galen.
We did it. And if people, is that for us? We can put the dirt on in the
Yeah,
bucket?
yeah. There's a little shovel
or
underneath
you
there.
can-
We
Okay.
can roll it back. Steve, go ahead. And,
Yeah, everybody can have a turn and put some dirt.
I can get this
Oh,
guy
yeah,
out of the
okay.
way if you want that.
Perfect. Perfect.
Oh, lots of shovels. Mom, do you want to put some dirt in first?
Galen.
Let Mom, let Grandma do
There's
it.
a small one over there. Guys,
Would you like
watch
to
out.
use
There's
the
a
shovel?
small one.
Mom, there's also a trowel here.
Wait. Oh, I'm not
Just don't do too good of a job, or I'll be out of
How about
one.
you give her that one? That's right. Okay,
Do you
Grandma.
want me to hold your purse?
Hey, look, that's the tool they use.
That's for
You can
Just
do
into the
some.
hole, the dirt there.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
That's a big one. Then pass it on.
with the small one.
One at a time. Okay, Leah. Okay, Alice. Good job, Aaliyah.
Why don't you get your cheese?
Let me take your cheese.
There will be no cheese with the shovel.
We're gonna sacrifice the cheese.
It'll get moldy if it falls in.
All right, nice shovel.
Nice. Good job, Luke. There you go, Alice. Katie? We work our way out? Let's work our way out, sure. Kind of.
Kelsey.
We're going youngest. We're going youngest. What are we going? Youngest, oldest?
Yes.
A little bit dirty.
Sorry, who has the 6-minute advantage?
Now it's Tyler.
So
Oh.
there's a difference.
This sounds like a discrepancy that only Phil can resolve.
I think Tyler was there first.
You think?
You don't know? You're not sure? It's Tyler.
That's the camera.
Tyler for sure.
And now it gets tricky.
He needs this. Yeah, let's just say it's we could that person. We could
Switch orders.
Yeah. Barbara. I don't need this minute.
No. We know we feel loved.
It goes over it.
It's really cool. Well, they do have it's like a puzzle piece.
Marie?
Yeah, one easy puzzle.
You were very special to him, Marie.
I hope you heard the story about him talking to night nurse about you. Did Paul tell you?
Yes.
Okay, good.
And that she found information about your book so that he could talk to her.
Yeah. So we were all there. We learned all about Cousin Marie over the night.
And she knew the 5 languages you spoke.
Right. 5?
No, I don't do 5.
Don't tell April.
But he was an optimist.
He was. He saw the best in all of us.
I mean, I guess you could sort of say 5.
Well, Luke, not everybody's had a turn, sweetie.
Paul.
Just- And Carl and Mark and Phil and Barb and
Yeah, we're not going by age anymore.
Robert just jumps in.
I drink.
I
After
jumped
everyone's
in.
had a turn.
Yeah.
after everyone's had turns.
And spouses too, definitely.
Yeah, Phil.
I jumped in.
We're talking about you.
Uncle Mark?
Alright, can I use my hand? Is there any reason not to?
No, you can use your hand.
Give Galen the alcohol. Good choice.
one's gone.
So we're going through seconds now?
Okay, Jim, the kids. One.
Assert yourself, Grandma. There's only one of them. It's the first one after zero.
Yep. Well,
It's compressing.
they can fix the hole however they need. I'll hold it.
Cheese holder.
Cheese holder.
Someone
Cheese
step
ladder
up.
is
cheese
very
holder.
attached to that piece of cheese.
Yes.
Wow, Alice, that's very impressive.
It's all that cheese. It gives you energy.
Cheese power. Okay.
Dad, you've given us
Luke,
so
did you
much.
go again?
Yeah.
Mom, you want another turn?
You want the last turn, Mom?
Yeah, it's good.
I see a couple more though.
Last.
I need a couple.
It'd be hard to shovel well.
So you're
Well,
not even
trying
gonna
to first.
you're not even gonna be earning just like 50 hours. Let's get it a win. Yeah, I like that.
Are you know
No.
Now let's
Go lay it down.
lay it down. Yeah, now we're done.
You want us to go ahead and us to finish up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank
you. We're done.
Okay, stand back, girls.
Thank you.
And we'll always know how to find him.
Lee.
And Bruce Lee? No.
Where's the top of the hill?
And then Kelly?
I think.
I think if you go visit Bruce before.
Who's at the top?
Bruce Lee. You'll be able to see him from here. He's right where that car is.
Go visit Bruce.
He's right.
I want, if
Right
anybody
where that
wants
car
to
is,
go
up on the hill.
there are so many people there.
A little bit left where the people are walking.
Right behind that row of bushes up there, right behind left up
The
there.
sort of the brownish stone.
Right.
Who? Who's that?
Brandon's right
Lee.
there.
Bruce Lee.
Who's that?
Just 20 feet behind that big white part up there.
People hanging around behind the bushes.
Who's Bruce Lee?
Actor. He was an actor in many movies.
Who's the big guy now?
In martial arts? There's Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan. He was
Yeah.
Jackie Chan
Jackie
before
Chan.
Jackie Chan.
I was gonna guess that I must be completely out of date on that one.
You don't tamp it before you tamp it up?
Yeah.
Oh, they have a whole brand.
You just gotta gauge it.
Well, at least this time you got
Definitely
it green
seeing that
side
this is a
up.
curious
Take my first.
We're a curious bunch. We want to know the why behind
Put Rambo make like glass.
Yeah.
How are they carving it? I don't remember where it is.
Because we're always going to know to look for young Fu Lee.
And then we're going to have a little plaque. We'll put a marker.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll put a marker there.
I was moved to that black one.
We'll talk to Grandma.
Grandma, we need something bigger than young food.
We can't be outshone by young Fu Lee.
Yes, right here. We'll have something like
Cast a
that.
shadow on young food.
We'll have something there that we can, so we know where to come.
And then we can bring flowers.
And we can bring flowers, exactly.
Or we can bring pinwheels.
And hats with pinwheels.
Thank you, Tyler.
More poems. Yeah.
And it feels like the grass.
And read poems to him.
Don't. You're squishing Grandpa. No, he's spiky then.
I would really love to walk around.
This is really beautiful.
Son.